Hi everyone, how are you doing? Today, at the time of recording, it's 34 degrees in my apartment and I am sweating bullets all day long. I have all the windows open, I've got 2 fans running and it's barely putting a dent in the temperature. But at least the air movement is helping just a little bit. But you know, as much as I dislike it, most of my plants seem to actually like it. My cactus satinae are really taking off like crazy. Hold on, I'll show you one of them actually. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen it, but this monster is going completely mad with this heat. So you've got this fat new growth right here, but check out the root system. Oh, I hope you can see properly. The sides are kind of fogged up, but do you see all those roots? Oh, I'm so pleased with it. Really, it's my first time I'm growing Arcadicetum. It's my first summer with them. And I'm just so impressed with the growth. They're so fascinating. Not a boring moment with these plants. Well, I mean, in the winter, but then you can literally just forget about them. So that's great. But that's not what I'm making this video to talk about. The reason I'm making this video is to talk about my little seedling here. So this is a little stardust keiki. It's not a seedling. Why did I say seedling? When I started out with orchids on the 1st of November 2018, I bought 3 different orchids from a garden center, and one of them was a Dendrobium nobile, a no ID one, as tends to be at the garden centers, but I later identified it as a stardust Chiyomi. Well, maybe not Chiyomi because that's a particular cultivar, right? But a stardust at least, a yellow variation. And something went wrong. I buried it too deep in the media and it got black rot, and it looks like it was going to die. But then I managed to cut off most of the black rot and a lot of the canes, and there was very little left. I can show you what's left actually. I still have it. Now it's looking a lot better than before because it's bustling with new life, so to say. But before, you see these 2 sad little canes? That was all that was left of it. These 3 sad little canes actually. 1, 2, 3. But now, after a few months and some good heat, there's a lot of keikis. In fact, this plant is a bit of a keiki machine. It made such a ridiculous amount of keikis after it got black rot that I was worried it was going to keiki itself to literal death. So I cut off and destroyed maybe 2/3 of all the keikis. And well, as you can see, there's still like 3 of them in the other pot, and there's this one here. I had another one as well, it was slightly bigger than this one, that I've traded with someone in the UK with an orchid swap. And you know, I've heard that it's doing well, so that's great. And this is one of the bigger keikis I'm left with. And I'm filming today because I noticed that it's going dry very, very quickly. And as you can see from the bottom, those roots are peeking out the bottom and ready to burst out of the pot. So all in all, I think that this little plant is ready to graduate from its tiny little pot to a slightly less tiny pot. Oh, there's some sphagnum in there. So that's what I'm going to show you today, and it's different from a repotting, I think, because this moss is quite new. It doesn't need to be replaced. It's maybe in use for like 2-3 months. So I'm literally going to plug it out, throw it in there, put some new sphagnum moss around it, and that'll be it. The reason for doing it that way instead of a proper repot is that first of all, I save on medium, I don't need to get even more moss. But second of all, it's very gentle on the roots. Unless they break from me actually pulling it out of the pot, like this little root here, which was determined to go through a tiny hole, that might break. I might be able to do it without breaking, but probably it will break. So if I can literally just plug it all out, plug it all in, then I don't need to break or disturb any of the roots, and hopefully it will just keep growing as if nothing had happened, except now it will actually hold a little bit more water. That's the plan, at least. So it's very easy, hopefully. I can just... Yes, there we go. Ooh, look at that. Yes, I like me some good healthy roots. Look at how nice and white those are. Oh, this is one healthy keiki. I am happy to see this. Alright, so it looks like none of the roots got broken or disturbed from me pulling it out of the pot, which is great. That's exactly what I was hoping for. And now it's time to just plug it in and put some more moss around it. Wait, actually I want some moss underneath it too, so. So I guess I shouldn't call this repotting, I should instead call this uppotting, which is what I'll do. I don't know if that's the actual technical term for it, but it's what I'm calling it, because, you know, you're going from a smaller pot to a bigger pot, you're like going up in scale. So uppotting, that's what I'll call it. I like it. Put some more sphagnum in there. I'm working with dry sphagnum at the moment because I was too lazy to water it, but it's going a little bit difficultly, so I'm going to get this tray here, throw some sphagnum on it, and spray it with the water bottle, water spray. Just get a little bit more pliable, more flexible, easier to get into the pot. Because I don't want to, you know, gently unpot it, only to then break the roots while jamming in more moss on the sides. That would kind of defeat the purpose, wouldn't it? There we go. Let's give these roots some more medium to grow through. Alright, a little more on this side. I want to make sure there's enough sphagnum moss, that it holds enough moisture and it has more room to grow and all that, and it's not just sitting in a bigger, emptier pot. But I also want to make sure that the moss remains a little bit airy and fluffy, because I don't want the roots to suffocate, especially with the way I water. The way I water, a lot of more traditional growers would probably completely frown on it, but I basically only use leca and moss. Those are my two medias of choice. I rarely mix them, and I do put almost everything in self-watering, so everything is wet almost all the time, at least in summer. I haven't really tried it in winter yet. So yeah, it needs to be fluffy, because if it isn't fluffy, it might become a problem with the constant wetness. And the constant wetness is important for me because I travel a lot, so self-watering systems are my way of letting my plants survive my absence. I just think I'm going to put just slightly more in there. There we go. Just over here. And over here. There we go. And there we go. So she's all potted up, and now she has more room to grow again for her root system to expand and hopefully push out even more new growths, even though these aren't actually mature yet. I think this one is mature, but this one here, there you go. This leaf is still growing. Might be the last leaf spring out, might be mature after that. This leaf here is still growing. This leaf here is still growing. I can't really see any small... Oh, sorry, I've been off camera for a while, haven't I? Can't really see a small leaf in between, so maybe that will also be the last one. Either way, they're not fully mature canes yet. But hopefully it will grow some more roots now, have some more space to expand, and plump up some new eyes in preparation for a new cane. And it will be a long time before this one flowers, I'm guessing. I don't actually know that much about the timeline when it comes to dendrobiums. But until then, I'll just take pleasure in the lush green growth and how quickly it seems to expand its roots and everything. So yeah, that was everything. I just wanted to show you a quick uppotting, not a repotting, but an uppotting, as we said. And I hope you all have a great day. See you next time.